Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite podcast. Today we have our very special guest, our good sister Zeze, the first time being on the podcast. Now, she's been on the show, can't tell you how many times, but this is our first time for her being on this podcast. We're going to have a good breakdown of the Netflix TV series, Good Times, the animation remake. So we're going to break down the layers in it, the agenda, the obvious agenda and blatant offense and racism. So without any further ado, Zeze, how are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me on. Good to be here. Oh, for the first time. To be here for the first time.
Of course. Good to have you. Great to have you. So for y'all who don't know, Netflix has a new animated TV cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's a very adult themed cartoon, which is different from how Good Times was. It's a very mature adult themed cartoon, and it's supposed to be adaptation of the Good Times sitcom. So they use the name Good Times, and there's references in the Good Times show. Like they'll reference the family, they'll sing the songs or whatever. It's essentially a family growing up in the projects. But like they got some of the characters switched around and stuff like that, even though they pick up on similar tropes to the show. But in this show, or this cartoon, it's not a show. In this cartoon, they have stereotypes in every episode, left and right. You can't dodge them. They're blatant, they're not clever, they're unfunny, and they're offensive. And a lot of people are calling this out. A lot of people are upset about this. In some of the first episodes, you can clearly tell that, okay, this was meant to be offensive, and it was meant to portray a stereotype of foundational Black Americans in the projects. And coincidentally, it's in Chicago as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They say that later on. Yeah.
The last show we reviewed, Black Love, what was it? Young Love, that was in Chicago too.
Yep.
Oh.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
So of course I had to bring you back for it. So okay. So my initial thing is about a show. We understand that a show has to be funny. So if a show has to be funny, it has to tell jokes. And a lot of people want to give things a pass because it's in the light of telling a joke. But there's a tasteful way and a distasteful way to tell a joke. What happens with the system of white supremacy, what they'll do is they'll disguise everything as a quote unquote joke. All of their stereotypes, all of their racism, all of that, it's a joke. All of that is a joke. So you can't get mad when we're being racist. You can't get mad when we're doing this or doing that, because it's just a joke. And if you feel some type of way, you just can't handle the joke and you're being sensitive. So Zeze, let me ask you, did you used to watch, or how much of the original Good Times have you seen?
Well, see, Good Times is a little before my time. Just a little bit. I was born in '96. I'm pretty sure that show was off by then, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even think it was still on TV, but I probably seen, and it wasn't like a big childhood show for me. From what I remember of it, I remember like popular clips, seeing, like my grandmother, like walking in on other people watching it, and from that, I kind of got like a family feel. Not really, I know one of the characters, JJ, was kind of over the top, but for the rest of the family, pretty much representing like average Black people. I remember, I used to love the fact that there was a dad in there, especially with them being within the projects, you know what I'm saying, and having the father in the household, and then learning later on, maybe we can get into that, but learning later on that the actress who was the mother really fought for that, which was important. So it's different, little aspects of the show that I've always respected, even kind of liked, and even some of the clips I thought was funny, like some clips from JJ, even some of the classic clips, damn, who don't know that? I ain't even watched the show and I know that, so it's like, I know of it, but it's not like my Bernie Mac, my wife kids. That's not really my generation, But I knew it wasn't nothing like this. I seen that trailer and knew it was the complete opposite from the little bit that I did know about that show, for sure.
Yeah. I was also born in 96. So it's before my time too. And I agree. I didn't, it's not like it's something that we would watch regularly. It's, of course, I've seen clips, I've seen Dynamite, and I've seen that stuff. So, there's parts of the show, especially I think the theme song is the thing that's really iconic,
Right. And the picture in the theme song, everybody's seen that picture before.
Yeah. So we know of the show. Yeah. And we know of the show to the degree where we can guess the content in the show. We've seen enough clips of the show to guess the content of the show. And as you said, and I think maybe we can start off with this. As you said, the show is really about a family who lives in the projects and are trying to make their way out of the projects, make their way up in life or whatever. And there's jokes and stereotypes or whatever. But this is one of the shows that it depicted Black people in a very poor and impoverished state, but the Black people were not stereotypes necessarily. Okay. Now, of course, you had JJ.
Yeah.
But, and JJ was over the top a lot of times, and a lot of the cast didn't really even like that. But there's a thing of they weren't over the top, but it did show, of course, there was jokes. So, of course, to a degree, they were jokes, so okay, they had to get in character. But the thing is, they weren't over the top. In this adaptation, all of the characters are like a spitting stereotypical image, like one-dimensional character of what they have. Like, if, for instance, in this cartoon on Netflix, the Netflix cartoon of Good Times, the dad is supposed to be some cab driver or whatever. The dad hates his baby, which I found was very interesting. He has 3 children. He has a son, a daughter, and then a baby son. He hates his baby. The baby is a drug dealer. Okay. He can't really make no money. He's out there trying to operate this cab thing. He's this stereotype of like the Black dad, but the Black dad is, goofy. Essentially, the Black dad's goofy. The Black dad is incompetent. The Black dad is slow. And it also plays into the fact that the mom in the show is the most level-headed character in the show. She's more of the adult than any of the characters in the show, even over the dad a lot of times. And I think that speaks to the adaptation of the fact that they don't like shows with Black fathers in them. They don't like shows where Black people, not just Black fathers in them, but Black fathers leading the household. They don't like that.
They don't. And even to double down on that, because even if we were going to have just one-dimensional characters, even if that was the case, we're just going to have stereotypical one-dimensional characters. Okay, fine. We've had that before. But I think what makes it even worse is that not only are they they're all, like you said, kind of like extra and goofy like JJ was, but even times 2, all of the characters have this element as well. But on top of that, it's like it's to a point where it's not even realistic. Like, we all know we got that extra kind of coonish Negro that do too much tap dancing, bucking his eyes. Look, we got real life people like that. But we, like, for this to represent an average Black family, there's certain aspects that even with them being the most degenerate Black family, it just wouldn't make sense. Like, it's certain things just don't make sense. A father hopping out the shower and naked, and his daughter is right there. I've lived around my father. I had a stepfather, and I lived with my father when my parents was married. At no point ever did I ever see them men naked. Never. I mean, even when they take showers, they close the door. I'm talking about in their bathroom. I do this even now. I live with my sister and her man and their sons. When he take a shower, the door is closed. I don't even go in their room when he's taking a shower. The kids are not even in there when he's taking a shower. So that it's just like, and I know there are many Black Americans who grew up with even like little things like that. It's like unlikely to happen. You know, it's like that's not. Maybe if it was the little brothers, it may have been a little bit realistic. I don't like it at all. But if we're gonna throw little things like in there, if we're gonna do this outlandish, stereotypical, really anti-Black, these one-dimensional characters, can we at least reel it in to make it one-dimensionally realistic to what we see? This is not what we see. These goofy ass niggas is not what we see in real life.
I agree. I don't speak too much about like I don't like to speak too much about my upbringing because I understand where my parents came from and how difficult it was for them. But I did not grow up in a well-off house, in a well-off neighborhood at all. It took years until we were able to kind of move out of what you would consider the projects, to be honest, because that's kind of where I'm from. But going through that, I can understand that there are certain things that happen in the projects that don't happen in like the upper class or even the middle class neighborhoods. However, when I see adaptations of the projects, I can relate to certain things and I can be all like, no, those certain things are blatant anti-Black stereotypes that are trying to depict the projects as not people who are poor, Black folk who are poor, but really degenerates. Because when I see a show or a cartoon and the characters are talking to roaches, and this is a thing that, like you said, is so roaches, like we just kicking it with roaches or whatever. Like that's not something that we ever happen. I don't know where this whole thing about the projects and everybody has a roach infestation and we all just cool with roaches. That's never been the case. To be very honest, foundational Black Americans are like the cleanest people, and you can't tell me nothing different.
I was about to say, I done lived in the hood, baby, and I done lived in a building where other people had roaches, and we ain't had no damn roaches. No damn roaches, baby. We was clean in that motherfucker. You tripping, but you walking that hallway, you might see one. You might see one by somebody's door. But nigga, I didn't live in other people's houses in the projects, and they had roaches, and that where I was living at ain't had no damn roaches because the people I was living with was clean. We don't do roaches. I'm like, what Black people do you know I was really out here feeling what?
And even if there is one, black folk do their immediate and absolute best to get rid of those roaches immediately. Black people ain't, because there was a joke. I forgot what episode the joke was in. There was a joke where the sister and the brother made a bet about taking a test, and they said, whoever loses the test or whatever the case is, or whoever doesn't get the higher score, whoever loses the bet, gotta pick the roaches out the cereal. And I'm like, okay,
come on, man.
Like that's just really degenerate right there.
Yeah,
that's so unrealistic, and that's something that's gonna make the white audience laugh. Like, oh my god, look at them, and they got roaches all. It's this like this 4chan or this Reddit type of stereotype of cartoons, or Black people sitting up there eating fried chicken for breakfast or some shit like that.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because ultimately I feel like this version of the show is really Good Times through a white supremacist lens. That's all it is. This is what Good Times look like to a white supremacist. Matter of fact, I would even give it, this is what Good Times look like to a white supremacist that's seen the trailer to Good Times. They didn't even watch the show. They just seen the trailer and said, oh yeah, we can do something with that. This about to be the new version. Because there's no way a Black person, even Stephen, what is it? I think it's Stephen Curry. He has a credit on the show. What is he, a producer?
He's an executive producer.
Okay, yeah. So he attached some money that ain't he halfway? He got nobody in him.
Both his parents is like, I think both his parents are mulattoes. I don't know, because both I looked up a couple days ago, because I'm all like, I don't know, Steph. We got to check you, but both his parents. Google say both his parents are African American, but both his parents light skin as hell, and I'm light skinned, and they light skin as hell.
Yeah, we got to check that paperwork. I don't know about that. There ain't too many Foundation of Black Americans that's gonna sign up to put their money and their name behind something like this. That's insane. I'm sorry. That's egregious.
Yeah. And I like what you said. I'm gonna follow it up with the fact that they named the show, out of all of the things they could have named this show, they named the show Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really think about why, because it is white supremacy. Why would they name out of everything? Because this is absolutely nothing like the original. So why, out of everything, what they named the show Good Times is because they're trying to tie it to the original Good Times. They're trying to make some connection to the original Good Times and to say, well, this is like the cartoon version of that show. But that show was not like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And even though that show had its moments where they are like, okay, y'all doing a little bit too much, because there's times where like JJ or whatever, and they was, or I forgot the character's name, the mother's name, and she was like obsessed with white Jesus.
Oh yeah. See, Good Times had the shit too. Good Times had the problems too. The original.
So, they ain't perfect. That's what we're trying to say. They ain't perfect. No. So, but the thing is that it was not this over the top where folks picking roaches out their cereal. Exactly. And then the roaches is talking like they pets in the house. The roaches is talking like they pets in the house.
Oh Lord.
Okay. And the fact that they're making it seem, well, black people, they're really comfortable with roaches and shit like that's not.
It's not our everyday. We're not. Mm-hmm. Nobody's, even with those of us who have roaches, we're not out here willingly wanting to live with roaches. Mm-hmm. If we could have the option to be without them, we would. Okay, yeah. Come on. So yeah, that's egregious.
Yeah, just like that. Just like the depiction and the representation of the black father, because they don't like to put the black father in the show at all. But then when they do put the black father in the show, they go out of their way to show a level of stupidity and incompetence within the black father, to show the black father may be in the show, but he's not running the house.
Full sense of masculinity they always give the father.
I agree. Another character, now to me personally, I'm gonna get to this last. The worst character I think in the show was the worst stereotypical character. Definitely think is the baby son. But the next character that I felt bothered me was the daughter in the show. And the reason why is because this daughter is supposed to be the conscious character in the show, but her consciousness is not like a sense of black consciousness stemming from knowledge or being well read or anything like that. Her consciousness is very unrealistic, very radical, kind of it puts a bad look to just black consciousness, period. Like in the first episode, I think it was the first episode, she went on a hunger strike because she went on a hunger strike because of something to do, and it wasn't a black issue. It wasn't like no black issue. It was something to do with like chemicals in the food. Oh, they putting chemicals in the food, so I'm not gonna eat none of the food, or whatever the case is. And then her breath was stinking, and she had flies all around her, and I'm like, okay, I don't like that. I don't like the adaptation and the representation of how they are trying to make consciousness look.
And you know what? I can't even say I'm surprised, because and especially because they use a little black girl. They have really been pushing in cartoons the idea. It's like they don't ever want to resurrect another Huey Freeman. They don't ever want to have another character, because he's kind of like the epitome of, especially for children, conscious child characters. But I wouldn't even put a child in there. I would just say conscious character. He's probably one of the best conscious characters ever created, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I think they're fighting hard to not recreate that. And they're using black women or little black girls to do so because of the whole the feminist movement and them trying to remove the black man as the head. But even in the last show we talked about in Young Love, the other little girl, she had similar issues. she was supposed to be conscious, but she was also a feminist, and she was all these other things, just intersectionality everywhere. You know, there wasn't that black was just like, it's like I'm black, but we got to stand up for gay people, but we got to stand up for the immigrants, we got to stand up for, you know, so it convolutes what consciousness really is, and that's ultimately what I think they're trying to do, what they're trying to push with our imagery, especially black women. It's like, oh no, black man, he's too goofy, he's too incompetent, he can't be the leader, he can't be the smartest, the most intelligent, the backbone of the community. He has to be the black woman. But the black woman is self-absorbed, selfish, vain, intersectionalist, anti-black male, etc., etc., etc. And that trickles on down, because if it ain't gonna be the father or the mother, it goes to the son and the daughter. And if the son is like the father and the mother is like the daughter is like the mother, who do we get as the revolutionary? We get the little black girl. And it shouldn't be like that. It's very intentional.
You make a good point, because that's how the system of white supremacy works. They understand that nowadays, if you're gonna put a cartoon in there, you want to put a somewhat conscious character, but Huey, like you said, was the perfect mix of a conscious character.
Yeah.
His consciousness was not like an unrealistic consciousness. His consciousness was to a degree where when you looked at the character, you were like, damn, he's right. Yeah. Like when he would be checking folks in the Boondocks cartoon, you would look like, hey, he's the smartest character. He's right. He wouldn't be saying a bunch of shit and then be all like, oh man, okay, you going way too far, Huey. Huey also wasn't, when he would talk about like the system, the police or incarceration or anything like that, you don't know Huey for speaking on everybody and their mama's issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a marketing of like activism or black activism, where the black activists, they got like because she had like a little button or medallion with the fist on it. But then she's sitting up there talking about, well, we need the GMOs and the food and shit. And then they had a whole episode where she gets her first period, and then this goes through this. It was disgusting, honestly. Because at the end she was throwing her period blood around people, and she was, yeah.
What?
Yeah, she was.
Ew.
Yeah, she was.
I think she's voiced by Marseille Martin, the little girl from Blackish.
Really? I didn't know that.
I believe she's the voice for there. And JB Smoove is the father, and I think it's somebody else I recognize that's on the cast too. That's maybe playing the mother or something. But I don't put too much blame on Marseille. I'm gonna say that. I don't put too much blame on Marseille because she's young.
Yeah, and this her first project or whatever. So you know.
I'm trying not to blame her too much, but JB Smoove, nigga, you should know what you're doing. Okay, your ass is too old for this nonsense. Let's agree. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you look at that, and then when you compare that to Huey, and like you said, Zeze, the fact that Huey was a character that people liked, because I'm people be wearing Huey Freeman shirts and stuff like that.
Right.
They like the character. They like how the character represented himself, how the character said what he had to say when it was needed. But the character you saw, the character said he would call stuff out, but Huey was actually very chill most of the time.
Yeah,
Huey wasn't always like in somebody's face and trying to change stuff, and he's not like this all the time. What they try to do is the system of white supremacy. They want black women to be the face of the movement. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to turn the black women who they made the face of the movement, they're going to turn them into crazy radicals who don't know, who just emotional and want everything in the world to change.
Exactly.
So that's I really dislike that.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it, but I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not surprised. We're probably gonna see that a lot more in these other cartoons. I mean, not even just the last cartoon we saw, but I'm just thinking about Ninja Turtles, like a couple other cartoons I've seen with black female leads, and they have similar, characteristics. That's the imagery they're trying to put in front of black girls, is that you're better than black boys. Mm-hmm. You're better than black men. You're the leaders. You're in power, as long as you include these other agendas. As long as you put this intersectionalism before your blackness, you'll be the most powerful person or black person there is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I ain't fucking that.
Yeah, I agree. And for people who are kind of, and what I find very damaging about this is for people who are kind of stepping into consciousness, when they see stuff like this, they get a feel of, if I want to be conscious, if I want to be, socially progressive or whatever, then I gotta acknowledge all of these aspects of life that is wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm about. That's not, we're black first here. We sit up there, we understand there's probably other problems going on in the world. I feel for them. They got it though. That's how I look at it. And I don't have no shame in looking at it that way. They got it because we got our own shit. We have our own problems that nobody else is gonna break away from or tie their issues into our issues unless they're piggybacking. So I'm cool. They got their stuff and I got my stuff, and I'm focused on my people, and that's what it is. But when they try to make it seem like, well, the woke really being conscious means that and you got to talk about racism, homophobia, transphobia, all these other phobias, and then, you know what I'm saying, and classism and ageism and disabilityism and all of these other isms, and that shit is, it makes consciousness unattractive.
Yeah, it does. It does. But that's what they want. They don't want they don't want consciousness to seem attractive. They don't want revolution to seem attractive.
No, they don't. I mean, when you're doing stuff, you got a hunger strike, and then you wind up breaking the hunger strike. It was really bad.
I did. Well, let me say this too, because I only watched one episode of the entire season. Okay, I watched the second episode. The second episode was basically about the son, the oldest son, having trouble in school focusing. He has to take a pill. This pill basically makes the focus part of his brain grow like monstrously strong, and he kind of takes over basically. Then when he stops getting the pill, his sister, the one we was just talking about, actually is the one who throws his pills away because she gets jealous that he's getting smarter than her. Which is another thing I didn't like either, because Huey wasn't conniving. That little girl conniving, manipulative. That Huey wasn't like that. Okay, she would. If that happened to Riley, he would have done no shit like that. Like, it's just, completely different character. Elements within a character, but. Yeah, so she throws away the pills. He's having trouble again. I think by the end of the show, he stopped taking the pills. And he was like, basically, they basically made it throughout the show, made the ending like, okay, he has trouble focusing on schoolwork, but he's more of like a creative. He's like, he has a high level of intelligence when it comes to creativity. So that's why he focuses on that. He's painting a mural, like his whole family is fighting at the end, and he's painting a mural of them, focusing on that. Not even paying attention to what they're doing. So that was kind of the gist of it. But the way they did it was so distasteful. It kind of goes back to what we've already been saying. It's okay, because that is a problem. They always try to put ADHD on little black boys and, act like they have behavior issues. So I don't have an issue with you putting into the show a young black boy who's having problems focusing in class. That's a real issue that many of our young black men face. Like, it's a fact. They are. Even our children in general, the literacy rates are low as hell. I think they can't read past like a 4th grade level or something like that. But it's low as hell. It's ridiculous. It's bad. So I don't mind that at all. I actually think it's necessary to show at least some of that within the show, because it's realistic to what our situation is right now. But when you get into things, when you take it, again, this is where the white supremacist lens come from. When you take it to a step where, okay, let's go inside his mind. And in his mind, you have this old Steven-like character, Steven from Django-like character, who's in there like, oh, boss, you got to do your work, and da-da-da-da-da. Then I think it was another one. What was some of the other characters they had? Do you remember what episode I'm talking about? Yeah,
they had one character, the kind of like the Sambo Coon character.
Right.
Then they had another one, and I think he was like a rock star or something like that, or like a
Then they had the baby.
Yeah.
Baby was the one that was the focus.
Yeah, the baby was supposed to be focused, and then there was another one that's he was like some type of painter or something. Like he looked like he was like a zesty captain or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Right. Okay, yeah. So it's like I like that concept of going into the black man's brain, or you know what I'm saying, or a black child's head. I like that idea. We've seen that before with movies like Inside Out, even like the latest movie Elements. You know, it's not Elements, but it's similar to Inside Out. But movies like that, we've seen that before for children. It can work. But you put these sort of characters, like you can tell that only a white supremacist would think that's what's inside a young black boy's brain. A fucking baby is representing his focus. Why would a baby represent his focus if all it takes for him to focus is to be creative? He's not a baby. That does not mean he doesn't have a large attention span. That doesn't mean he cannot focus. To say that he's the focus of a baby and he can't really get hold of it or use it to its highest degree without appeal that some white people, some brothers gave to him, is what story are you telling young boys? So they need to get on Ritalin. That's what you're saying. Young black boys need to get on Ritalin so they can focus and they can be better students. No, that should not be the end result. What should have been was them shifting it to maybe this isn't his what he's best at. That's okay. Maybe this element of intelligence, this realm of intelligence isn't his forte. Math, science, right? Okay, cool. But how can we translate this into something where it's going to click for him? So he likes creativity. That's what he focuses on. He knows how to focus with creativity. So how can we include the math, the science in a creative way for him to comprehend it? That's how they should have done it. Not through a damn pill. Not at the end with the family just ignoring the problem. Ultimately, at the end, the family does nothing to help his problem. They say, oh, fuck it. Oh, look. Oh, the pills didn't work. Oh, we arguing. The show ends with them arguing and him having no other solution but drawing on a mirror. That's drawing a mirror. So he's going right back to school the next day to endure the same issues. They should have made it in a way where there's a constructive answer, a solution for the family, at least to be practicing throughout the season. They could have made that a running joke throughout the season. Maybe the father and him coming up with songs with vocabulary words in it. The mother and him doing some sort of making some sort of like do-it-yourself games or something with math problems. You know, something to make it a family-oriented solution. But you made it so the family is just arguing at the end, and the young black boy is just left to figure it out his fucking self. That's not right. And to a degree, it's kind of true. It's kind of representative of what's happening. It's kind of. I'm heavy on the kind of. It's kind of true because there are a lot of black men out here without the help, without the guidance that they need, but not in this way. That's not how it doesn't get to that point in this way. Not because he got this decrepit old slave Negro in his mind and he can. It's unrealistic. You're trying to force real things that happen to us or that are happening to our people and put it inside this weird, like made up, unrealistic situation and trying to force us to think, oh no, this is relatable, and it's not. It's not relatable. I know young black men with short attention spans. That's not relatable. That's not how they act. That's not how they receive information. I'm sorry. It don't work like that. So they needed somebody in there to carry that sort, to put the pieces together the right way. Not a white supremacist, because that's what you could tell was doing that. It was a group.
Yeah. I fully agree. And I don't like the way that they represent the issue, because it does touch on an issue. It never solves the issue. Almost similarly to how when we talked about Young Love, when we did the review on Young Love, there were issues that actually do happen that were touched on in one episode, and they were never spoke of again in another episode. There was no development. There was no solution that came about. It was just like, oh, well, that is a problem. And, oh, well, we said it. So, but the thing is that I really dislike the way they addressed the problem. Like you said, there's a tasteful way to address this problem. The problem is the fact that if he can't focus on like his math test or whatever without this, that is because his interest is not in this math test.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And they do it specifically with black males specifically, because they don't do it with white males. Because when they make a cartoon about a white male being an artist or a musician, they don't ever say, well, he's slow in everything else except the guitar. They never say that. The problem is the fact that these black kids, because in real life, these black kids who might not be doing that well are not doing that well because, number one, the system Okay. And the fact that they're just not, they don't have an interest. The system is stripping them of their interest in these subjects. It's not the fact that their brain, like there was a thing where he's looking at the numbers, then the numbers start turning into cartoons and stuff like that. It's like, it's not that our brain can't pick up math. It's not that we can't read. It's the fact that that might not be his interest. I think it would have been a lot better, like you said, is if they did say, okay, well, son, we're gonna help you with your painting, but we do have to get your math up. You know, we and then you can see the son develop both his, because they kept saying he's in the 10th grade like 3 times. He repeated the 10th grade 3 times. I'm like, why are they kept saying that? I'm like, why do they keep saying that?
They did.
I dislike, I really do dislike it. And I perfectly agree with the way you put it. I think you conveyed it perfectly.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that bothers me too, though. I feel you. It's a bridge.
I want to get to now. The mother really didn't bother me. Like, even though she did have a thing, because the show kind of made her like this super Christian. And in the beginning of the show, she was praising white Jesus.
Oh Lord Jesus.
She was, and I think it was the first or second episode where like the picture of white Jesus fell and broke, and the son had painted a mural of black Jesus. And then she was all like, well, I guess I'll pray to black Jesus now. And then it was kind of like that. And there was one thing that bothered me though. In the show, they depicted Jesus and Gabriel playing video games, like up in heaven.
Okay.
And then they asked God for something. In Christianity, know that God is the Father of Jesus, right? Okay, that's what they say. So God handed down something to Jesus. He is like a real big black hand who handed down something to Jesus. And in the thing, you see God has, who is a male, has his fingernails painted. He has on the thumb, it was blue and pink. God had a blue and pink fingernails as he was handing down something to Jesus. I was like, are you serious? And this is how you know that blue all that fingernail shit that's starting to become a trend is an agenda.
You said blue and pink?
It was blue and pink, yeah. And if y'all know what that really means.
Give me strength. Lord, give me strength. Hey, where it goes? Oh my God, that's outrageous! I did not know that. I think that's the first time I'm hearing that. I watched a couple reviews on it. I ain't heard nobody bring it up. That's wow. That's, I don't know. If I was a Christian, I would be raising hell right by now. I don't know what a Christian is that, but you're the first person to mention that. That's crazy as hell. They basically insinuated that God is trans.
Yeah.
Or am I going too far?
I don't think those are the colors, because it's not like they were. Because remember when we did the thing about the fingernails, the nephew. And the other show we did, Young Love, who had his fingernails that, which we addressed was an issue, but his fingernails were all the same color. This one specifically, you only see 2 fingernails, and you see one is blue and one is pink, which represents the colors of trans. You know, and that you can't tell me that wasn't a deliberate act. You can't tell me that.
Right, because they don't include little details like that for no reason. Be a waste.
Why you would put fingernails and this goes into something that might actually need a separate video, because there is a subtle agenda that they're trying to say, well, black men are taking more care of their mental health and are taking care of yourself, which is fine. Of course you take care of yourself. But now that it's starting to get to a point where it's getting really feminine. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like when I see like different stuff like of a dude and he got a whole face mask on and he's doing all of this stuff, I'm all like, brother, wash your face. You know what I'm saying? I understand you want to put some moisturizer and all that stuff. I get it. I would personally never record myself putting on like, this is how I put on my motion. I would never do that shit. I'm being honest, and I'll post that to the internet. I got a whole face mask on, and I'm doing my. I would never. You would never see me doing no shit like that. Dudes be like, and it's under the guise of self-care and grooming, but like, no, you taking this a little bit too far. You don't need to be doing all that in camera.
It be a lot sometimes. I'm not gonna hold you. I appreciate a well-groomed brother, but damn, it be a lot.
But he be in the bathroom longer than you and stuff. He got more, y'all, because we know how FBA sisters do. Y'all either keep your hair products and your face products in your room or in the bathroom on the sink. I got sisters. I know how y'all do. It's either in your room, on the dresser somewhere, or it's in the bathroom on the sink.
It is. You know? It is. And my brother stay using my shit. He be, get off my shit. Or replace it. I need $20 tomorrow.
Yeah. Y'all should be good. Y'all be having good shit. Y'all, it be smelling good and it be soaping up and you feel extra clean. And
nah, for real.
We don't be knowing where y'all get it from. We just buy the bar of soap. So we just don't know. So, you know, tell your brother, talk to you. The secret is you got to use a little bit, brothers. You got to use a little bit at a time. Make it seem like you're tripping. Gaslight. Be all like, no, I didn't do that. Why you always accusing me of shit? Like,
that is diabolical. That's all right.
But even when we go to self-care, even when we talk about self-care, it's, of course, first off, we foundational Black Americans, we the cleanest people, period. So of course our self-care game is gonna be bar none. It's not gonna be comparable. But it's a level of self-care that a man is gonna, or a woman is gonna do, that a man is not gonna really do, at least publicly. A man not gonna be all like, well, this is how I, my moisturizer, then I gotta rinse it off, and then I gotta, like, dude, show me the products and keep it pushing. Like, you ain't gotta, I don't need to see you applying the damn sunscreen on your face. I don't need to see you doing that. And we gotten to a point where it's feminism that's marketed to Black men as self-grooming or self-care.
For sure.
So, brothers, take care of yourself. I'm talking about floss, use the tongue scraper, all that. Don't record yourself doing it. Don't record yourself doing it. Because sooner or later, niggas gonna be wearing makeup. And that's gonna be
already do it. They already do it. This is where it is. I just seen a natural beat on a grown man with a beard the other day. It was I said, wow, and the shit look good. I was surprised.
You can't get that mad at him. You're like, I mean, he did that shit though.
He did. He had his fucking line up, shit, everything. It was great. I was like, oh my god. I never thought it was possible. Crazy.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, that might need its own thing because a lot of these brothers doing a lot of extra stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
don't too much. Y'all doing a little bit too much.
Keep it simple, man.
Everybody don't got to be a supermodel.
They don't.
But I dislike that agenda, and I'm starting to see actual celebrities doing that. There was one comedian who was like, it was a Black comedian. I used to watch. He used to be on, what's that app? It was almost like TikTok, but it wasn't. Vine. He used to be a Vine comedian. And I saw a TikTok, and he had his fingernails painted. And a lot of people was in the chat room like, nigga, what are you doing? And he all like, man, hold on, no. My fingernails is a conversation started with the ladies. Because then the ladies gonna ask me about my fingernails, and then I can, talk to them about their fingernails, and that's a good conversation starter. I'm like, nigga, that's not, no. You can't flip that. That's not the conversation started. If she talks to you about your fingernails being pretty, she's not talking to you like somebody she's gonna be interested in. She's not talking. The whole this what really get the ladies. No, you're not Prince, nigga. Like, calm down.
Exactly. Don't do that. I'll try to flip this. Hell no. You are not Prince. Exactly. No. That's the greatest.
Brothers, it's take care of yourself, but it ain't that deep. Ain't that deep. Don't be doing all that extra. Women don't like it. I'm telling you.
Wait, was there any? I just want to know, was there any other? Was there any LGBT characters in the show?
I didn't notice any LGBT. No, there was a black love. Well, they weren't really like a character, but there was a Black Love Day, and in the Black Love Day, you did see a couple of gay characters, gay black couples and stuff like that, like holding hands and, you know, buying each other flowers and stuff like that. But as an actual recurring character in the show, there was no gay black characters in the show.
Did they insinuate it with any of the what you call characters? Like, I kind of not surprised they didn't do it to the daughter.
No, the daughter actually was interesting. The daughter on the Black Love Day, there was this thug that she kind of she fell in love with, because they stole some candy out this corner store. And then when they stole the candy and he gave her a piece, she just got googly eyes and she was just all obsessed and everything. He had tattoos on his face, all that. So that's who they had the daughter like. Now eventually they broke up. Now I haven't seen, there was only one episode. I'm on the 9th episode, like halfway through it. So it's like an episode and a half. So I haven't seen the whole thing all the way yet. So there might be a last minute gay character, but I haven't seen one yet.
Oh yeah, because remember they tried to slide that in at the end and on Young Love too.
Yeah, they did. The last little subtle, the last minute thing. Like if you don't see it, you ain't gonna know. But if you see it, you gonna know. Speaking of which, that also goes to show the level of the grooming that they do to the young black girls to try to develop this taste in certain men. Like if a man steals from a corner store, then the girl like, oh my God, that's so cute. Like they're trying to develop that taste, that attraction within black girls.
Right.
You know, so that's also something that you have to be aware of too.
Absolutely.
So this, like you would say, egregious.
It is.
Now, I want to get to definitely the baby of the show. The baby who, first off, I dislike, number one, because throughout most of the season, the baby and the dad are arguing, where the dad's like, I don't want this baby in my house, or whatever the case is. So the dad don't like the baby because the baby's a drug dealer or whatever. This is a baby in diapers and everything.
Yeah.
The baby's in a drug dealer. Then the baby's doing baby powder or smoking baby powder or whatever the case is. This huge kingpin or whatever. Like, I don't like that because and you can tell it was kind of damn near made by it was made by white supremacists. Whoever directed it or scripted it out or whatever was definitely a white supremacist, because that's a stereotype of these kids, these black kids. They're not really innocent. They're like little drug dealing little kids. It plays into the narrative that these are children, but they're drug dealing criminal children. They don't do this to other groups of children. They let them just be children. But the black kid's got to be a black kid who's a drug dealer or whatever. Now, I'm going to compare this to Riley from the Boondocks.
Right.
Riley from the Boondocks was not a drug dealer. Riley from the Boondocks was kind of a gangster wannabe.
Exactly. Right.
That's a very different thing, because there was people who are like, now hold on, now when Riley was doing it, y'all didn't have a problem. But no, because Riley was not no drug dealing baby.
Gun toting.
Yeah, he wasn't doing that. Sitting up there, he was not that. And if anything, he made it look like, okay, he's a wannabe gangster, but he's always doing something goofy because he's trying to be a wannabe. And it contrasted perfectly with his brother, who's the conscious character in the show, and his brother constantly having to teach his younger brother, or having to check his younger brother on some shit.
Right.
That doesn't happen in this show. In this show, oftentimes the mom and the parents is going to the baby like, hey, I need some, or the baby like, I'm gonna take care of you, I got this drug money. It's I didn't like that at all. That stereotype I didn't like at all.
Did they show did they like kind of have an episode or something where they dived into the relationship with him and the brother?
Him and the brother, he's okay with all of his family except his dad. His dad didn't like him. Now what happened was, there was an episode where I think they were like working together or something like that, like the dad and the son, they worked together on something. I think it was because the mom got kidnapped or whatever, so I think they was working together on that or whatever the case is. And then the dad and the son started to reconnect, which I was like, okay, well that's a little bit of an interesting development. The dad had his taxi cab completely destroyed. The baby bought his dad a brand new taxi cab, pimped out, rims, everything. So as they was hanging out, the dad, he was like, hey, you want to get ice cream, son? And I was like, okay. So then when the dad sees the cab, the dad drops the baby, goes to the cab. He's like, oh, I can make a lot of money now. Then starts driving around the city making money as the baby's like, where's my dad coming back? So then the dad don't come back. The baby gets upset. Then the baby tells some thugs to strip the car, completely destroy the car.
Wow.
So that's what happened. So unless they fix it in the last episode, which I doubt, unless they fix it in the very last episode, that's their relationship dynamic. So I don't like it either when, and I understand we have issues with our parents sometimes, you know, FBA parents, FBA families we sometimes have family issues, like all families do. Okay, like all families do, we have family issues. But what I don't like is that you can take a family issue and you can talk about that in the cartoon, but do it in a tasteful way. Don't do it in a way where I don't really like the stereotype of the parents not getting along with the kids and the kids always arguing with the parents and stuff like that. Like, there's a way to talk about family dynamics that's better than that. I don't really like that, because I don't be sitting up there arguing with my parents.
Me either. No, what the hell they get them from?
And that's something that I ain't gonna lie, that's white people shit, to be honest.
It really is. It really is. That was one of the biggest problems I had with that show, Black as Fuck. That was the least black show I ever seen in my life because of the way the children and the parents interacted. I said, there's no way in hell. Like, that's so, we don't talk to our parents like that. It just don't happen. Especially if you ain't, it's a little bit more believable if you pass like 18 or even like 16 if you living with a relative, like you ain't close, your parents was in and out your life, you know, like there's, you know, some context to it. But for the most part, that's not how we operate. It's just that's not within our culture. But I do want to go back to what you said about the owner. You mentioned the show creator, Seth MacFarlane. Now, I already have a problem with there being a black baby that's selling drugs. That I don't think should be on television anywhere. It just don't make sense. Why the hell we need representation for that? That's just anti-black within itself. But from it coming from a man like Seth MacFarlane, who has also created other cartoons, we got Family Guy, one of his most popular, probably his most popular cartoon. There's a baby in that show as well, and that baby in that show is evil as fuck. But you know the one thing about that baby in that show, don't nobody know that the baby is evil as fuck. Nobody in the show knows except for the dog. None of the rest of the family recognizes the fact that this baby literally has a whole ass evil lair in his bedroom. Nobody else, like, this is just a side kind of running story. This is not at the forefront of the family, or even kind of honestly, even the baby. If we're being real, it's kind of just, they've had plenty of episodes where he's not doing evil stuff. He's just doing other things in his personality. So we get the white character. Didn't even, matter of fact, we wouldn't even have to stop there. We can go to the Cleveland show next, because that's another black show he made as well. What children do we get in there? We get a young black boy, we get a young black girl, we got a promiscuous young black girl, and we got an overweight basically incompetent black boy. Really. Now we got overweight, incompetent white boy for Family Guy, true. But we also had Meg, who Meg was a little egregious, and kind of didn't nobody really care about her or nothing like that. But she wasn't completely fucking stupid. She wasn't incompetent. So she was the balance there for that. Even the baby wasn't incompetent or stupid. The baby was actually the smartest in the whole damn family. Brian wasn't even stupid. The only one that was really stupid was the father, was Peter. That's it. Everybody else had some sort of level of competence outside of Peter and the son. So there was some sort of balance there. Cleveland show, then we got damn Good Times. And we get a family again, and the children, like, why is it that, what is it with Seth MacFarlane? What's his beef with black children? Because you just, for some reason, you cannot find a way to display black children on TV without adding some bullshit context to it. Why can't we have an evil? Why can't we have a black Stewie? Why couldn't the baby be evil? But instead of being evil, why can't he be the real, maybe the real radical revolutionary who's behind closed doors in a Black Panther organization or something? Why can't we make that the spin? If we will still make the baby have something like that, why not make him the agent? This nigga is fucking Shaft at night or something. Like, why not go that route? Why not he has a gun. The mom is handing him a strap before he leave and say, you can't catch my baby lacking. You have a good day, son. Yeah. Why is that the narrative? That's where the white supremacy comes in at, because you've seen it before. Children having been unrealistically evil or being in the streets or, being put into adult roles is not something that can't work. It's worked. He's literally done it. So there was a way for him to write this, but to not be as degenerate and just blatantly anti-black as it is. But that's not what he wanted. So this is what we did.
That's very true. That's very true. I love the way you put that.
Thank you.
And even to compare not Huey. What's the baby's name? Stewie. Stewie. Even to compare Stewie to this baby, Stewie is better in a cartoon sense, because the thing is that Stewie is not a stereotype. Stewie is a character who's this mad genius with an evil lair and a ray gun and all that stuff. It's a cartoon. It's not even meant to be taken seriously. But we have actual stereotypes that are marketed as jokes that actually do get taken seriously in the real world. So when you talk about a baby being a drug dealer, when you overemphasize drug dealing people in the black community, as if the black community is full of drug dealing people and the white community isn't, even though all data shows that they are, so when you do that, you're marketing one baby in a very dangerous light, because marketing a little evil genius Lex Luthor ass baby is not dangerous to white babies.
Exactly.
Marketing a black baby as a drug dealing thug is dangerous to black babies. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very intentional. And I didn't watch the whole show, but I just gotta say this. Okay. Because there is a lot of speak about the show. I'm gonna be real. For the most part, the FBA people I seen talking about the show, even if they didn't watch it, was like, nigga, don't watch that. I'm not watching that. This looked like some bullshit. Okay, I did watch it. It was some bullshit. So that was the general consensus I got from FBAs. But I did see other FBAs and black people, some, who was trying to make the argument, we have to stay open-minded. We have to, we can't judge a book by its cover. We have to give it a chance. It might be progressive. This might just be them. And, they might have brought them here in a new day and age. And, we have to be open to different imagery of ourselves. Even if we don't like it, we should still be open to it. It's black. Stephen Curry is behind it. It's black. It's like, at what point? I'm not going to make this a question. I'm going to make it a statement. At some point, we have to come to get to a place of general discernment where we just know when bullshit is bullshit. When we know we have been living in America, we've been here dealing with this system of white supremacy for over 400 years now. We know when we see anti-blackness, we don't have to gaslight each other into it thinking, oh no, you might be overthinking it. Oh no, you might just be reading too far. Oh no, you just saw one little clip. Sometimes that's all you need to see. Sometimes all you need to see is the cover. Sometimes you don't even need to. Sometimes all you need to see is the creator. Because honestly, once I seen it was made by Seth MacFarlane, I said, oh, it's gonna be some bullshit. I'm talking about before I even seen the official trailer. I'm seeing a screenshot of it, and I just see the name Seth MacFarlane. I said, oh yeah, that's gonna be something. And I was not surprised at all when the trailer finally came up, because of the type of content he's already produced about black people. So why would I think he's gonna take something that's a classic of ours and make it better? I doubt it. And you pull in a black person like Stephen Curry, where in the fuck does he know anything about cartoons or movies? I'm sorry. You are a basketball player, sir. I'm sorry. You did not get no damn somebody who's conscious or a political leader, somebody's revolution, something. Even Aaron Magruder, the brother from the Buddha, you didn't get nobody that's somewhere in the realm of understanding how to portray black people in media, especially when it comes to cartoons. He didn't align himself with nobody like that, so I already knew it was going to be some bull. And so black people, we already know that. We don't have to keep watching or keep giving people chances. No, we need to make sure people come correct. Because when shit like this flop because we didn't watch it, they'll know, oh, we can't put that out no more. They ain't going to even touch it. Why do you think Color Purple flop? Why do you think flop? And now this will change the trajectory of what Hollywood puts out. Because even when they do try to pull out their beat, they always going to pull out, it's always going to be something anti-black. It's always going to be something to oppress. It's always going to be something because we don't control it. But the way in which they do so will have to be more covert or codified, because we want to allow blatant anti-black racism. We know either way what we're going to get is racism. This is highly weird. We don't run this shit. It's going to be racist regardless. But you're not about to sit up here and just call me a nigga and expect me to laugh at it. That's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. It shouldn't be like that at all. That shouldn't even be the option. It really should be us just doing us. We can talk about separation. That's the whole, that's the ultimate goal of separation. But while we under this system, at the minimum, we're going to need at least some decent characters, some respectable story arcs, some realistic details that we can relate to. We're going, at a minimum, we need that. A black director, a black voice actors, black producers. At the minimum, we need that to at least show support. That's the point that we have to get to as black people. If they don't fit this criteria, baby, we don't need to watch it. I catch it on bootleg in a couple years when they want to go. I'll catch it on TV when they start replaying it on TV if I really want to see it that bad. But I'm not going to put my money and my time and energy towards something that I know ultimately, let's just be real, from history is probably going to be racist. So what are we doing? What am I going to waste my time here and act like this? I don't see what I see. I don't need to watch this to know that this is some bullshit. That's why I stopped at the first episode. There was no need. And I'm glad I didn't, because we got a brother right here who did, and look, we came to the same results.
Yeah. I made the sacrifice so y'all wouldn't have to.
You did. Hey, look, leave it up to us. We'll watch the bullshit for y'all.
That's why y'all need to make sure y'all follow, subscribe, follow us on social media and everything. We out here sacrificing brain cells for y'all.
Come on. Okay, but at least we can analyze and distinct, you know what I'm saying, what we can take from it and what is absolutely just unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? But for the average person at home, if you're just watching to watch, baby, don't watch that shit. Watch something else. Go watch the original Good Times if you that person see a show like that. Or go watch anything else except for that.
I agree. And to follow with what you just said, we understand the dominant society is not going to put good representation, good cartoon. We understand that all of the stuff that we need is going to come from us,
absolutely,
and from us. But there still is a level of disrespect. Like, you're not gonna sit here and just make blatantly anti-black racist jokes, and we're gonna be all like, "Oh, that is kind of true." We're not gonna do that, because y'all wouldn't do that to any other. Y'all wouldn't sit up there and do that to no Asian community where they sitting up there giving happy endings at a massage in a cartoon. Y'all would not do that, because y'all know the Asian community is gonna sit up there and be all like, "Hey, we're not gonna tolerate this." Y'all know, y'all wouldn't do that. but y'all want to do that with us, and we are not tolerating that. Like you said, that's why The Color Purple and all of these, the Harriet movie, and all these other little agendas that they've been putting out, been flopping left and right, back to back to back. It's not because black people don't go to the movies, it's because they don't go to the movies to see that.
Exactly.
Another thing you said, the fact that we have black people who are like, well, it's just a joke, calm down. You're overthinking the gaslighting that we get from black people. Everything's not always about race. Okay, first off, like you said, we've been living in this oppressive system for 400 plus years now. Half a millennia. Listen, we understand their tactics and what they do and their motives and the little subtle messages better than anybody else. Can't nobody tell us as FBA, nobody can tell us, no, that's you overthinking that. That's not what it is. We know what it is. Okay, so when we say, no, this is what it is, this is what they mean, we're not overthinking that. And we got some black folk, some are tethered, some are even unfortunately FBA, who will deliberately turn a blind eye to it, deliberately play dumb about it. Well, hold on, maybe they didn't mean it like that. Yes, they did mean it like that. They did mean it like that. Yeah, it's not, even if it is funny, it shouldn't be funny. You shouldn't be telling that joke regardless if it's funny. That's the way I feel about it. Exactly. If we make an in-house a stereotypical joke, okay, cool. We're not gonna let no outsider make no stereotypical joke. We're not gonna do that. That's where the line is supposed to get drawn. And there's a thing about we need to stop, essentially, like what our sister said, giving passes. The whole, well, hold on, maybe you guys are overlooking it, or there's a deeper meaning. No. If it's a joke, make it be a clever joke, and it's not no blatant racist joke. And then I shouldn't have to watch something and then search for the joke in the statement. The joke is supposed to come out. It's supposed to come off as funny, and then there's supposed to be like a message in the joke.
Right.
It's not supposed to be where this is just a offensive ass message, but if you really dissect it and think about it, it's kind of funny. No.
Yeah, if you gotta do all that, baby, it ain't funny. It's that simple. Yeah. Like, for real.
I know you want to talk about context.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. That's essentially what I was trying to say was context shouldn't play as big as a role as our discernment does. If we know that something isn't right, if we've seen this before, then it's no need for us to keep trying to rehash or retry or give out second chances. We just know what we know. And we got to hold people accountable for that as well, because people know, just like we know, they knew before they put it out. So Steph McFarlane, Stephen Curry, I think it's one of the other person that's on like the creators list or producers list for the show. They have to be held accountable. I don't want to hear when Stephen Curry comes out, I don't want to hear this Negro come out and say, well, I'm sorry, I just didn't know that it was going to be that bad, and I thought we was going to If this Negro don't come out and straight up just apologize and take full accountability, y'all, I saw the show, I saw the stereotypes, I had one thought process. As soon as it came out, I had another. I don't even want to hear that. I don't believe it. But even if you want to say that, that's cool. What I really think you should say is, I knew what the fuck I was doing. I thought it was going to be funny. I thought y'all was going to connect with it, and I thought we was going to be able to make some money off this. And I thought I could do it the easy way because Seth MacFarlane did it, and he got a couple shows already. I would respect that more than you coming out and saying, "Oh well, guys, I just thought the funny. I thought it was going to be funny." And no, because there's no way as a black person in America you looked at that, and even if you didn't analyze it the way we broke it down throughout this whole podcast. There's no way you looked at that and didn't see a problem with it. There's no way you looked at that and said, oh yeah, that's what a black man is. Or I don't have a problem with how they're representing black men or black women. You don't have to be a revolutionary to see the issues that's right in front of you. That's supposed to be your reflection. If you don't see yourself, there's an issue. If you don't see your family, there's an issue. So just based off that alone, not even factoring in the intentions of Stephen Curry and the other person that's on, that's Stephen Curry. What's the Seth MacFarlane and the other person that's up there, because they may have intentionally done this on and knew exactly what they was doing. Mm-hmm. Even not even just considering that, it's just the imagery, the fact that you as a black face put your money into this and your name on this is good enough for you to be like, y'all, I fucked up. I'm sorry. You have to be held accountable. And if he's anything other than that, all support needs to be pulled. It's really just that simple. Because we cannot have people out here thinking that they can disrespect us, even our own people. We can't allow our own people to think they can allow other people to disrespect us and make money off of it and get away with it like nothing happened. Even if they're not making money off of it, you're not about to publicly put our culture on a platform and insult it and minimize it and degrade it and act like, put all of this white supremacist BS on it and act like it's ours, and then we just supposed to sit back and laugh or just let it slide by like it's just another bullshit show they put out and we ain't. No, people have to be held accountable, and we can't let context be what saves them. Gerard Carmichael, your ass should apologize for that dumbass joke. You were wrong. It was anti-black. I don't care if it was about reading. The context don't matter. The point is, what you did was anti-black. The point of the show is anti-black. I don't care what the intentions was. That's what it is. Fuck the context. Excuse my language. But what it is anti-black, and that's what the focus needs to be on. Period.
That's straight fire. Y'all make sure y'all follow her. All the links and everything gonna be in the description. I fully agree. And I hate it when celebrities are a part of something and they do something like our sister said, then come out and then try to like soft shoe around an apology like, well, I didn't really know what I was putting my money into.
Right.
Because his money and it's not like he donated or whatever. His money and his name is in the credits of the opening credits of the show. The opening credits of the show. Okay. So it's not like he all like, yeah, I help you out a little bit. He's a part of this project. It wouldn't have been able to take off it might have, but he was a part of the fact that it launched in the first place.
Right.
So he can't sit back and be all like, well, I just signed up for anything and everything. No. Why didn't, if he dares to try to act like he didn't know, why didn't you review it then? Don't act like you have a whole PR team and all that stuff. Don't act like you don't know what you be doing or you don't know where your money is going. So you looked at at least the summary of what the show was about and you said, I'm on board. And that's what it was.
Absolutely. Not rocking with it.
Who the guy you named? The guy you just named, the guy you from the Breakfast Club.
Gerard Carmichael.
Say it again.
Gerard Carmichael.
Gerard Carmichael. He made a joke essentially about slave play or whatever. Then he want to come out and be all like, no, it really wasn't about slave play, even though it was about slave play. Here's the thing about it. Even if there's a message to the joke, you need to make sure, and we need to get to the point in the FBA community, we need to get to the point where if you make a joke, you need to think about the fact that you better make sure we like this joke.
Right. For real.
It's to a point, because now when it comes to other communities, when y'all be making jokes about other communities, y'all be walking on eggshells. Y'all be on thin ice. Y'all don't want to offend them. Y'all don't dare make no offensive joke. Y'all make sure all y'all jokes it does not cross that line of being offensive.
Yep.
Now when it comes to us, y'all say whatever, y'all do whatever, and then be all like, no, it was really a joke. No, it wasn't. It was something because you sit up there and y'all be kicking it with white folk, and you the token Negro, and you want to and y'all be making those jokes around because you the token Negro, just like he is. His name is
Gerard Carmichael.
Yeah. Forgot his name again. Gerard Carmichael. I don't know why I keep thinking Geronimo Carmichael. His name is not Geronimo. His name is not Geronimo, y'all. But I'm getting better with my name.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta look it up. I asked on Twitter if he was. but I don't know if he is.
So, regardless, when people talk about the context, no, the context of comedy, it still got to be funny. It still has to be funny. You can't be sitting up there just saying stereotypes and be all like, well, you know, it's supposed to be. No, it's not supposed to be funny. It's not funny. Our what should be funny should not be we got to be offended and we got to like turn the other cheek to us being offended and feeling disrespected to kind of like, well, you know, it is funny. No, it don't have to be that way. Other communities don't have to face being disrespected for the sake of comedy and then be told they need to accept that.
Right. That's a fact. Because they know exactly what to say when it comes to them to the small hats.
Yeah.
What's wrong with them ever?
No.
No matter who it is.
There's a line that they know damn well never to cross.
Yep.
They know never to cross a certain line I ain't even gonna say it here, but they know never to cross a certain line at all, period.
Come on, we don't even want to say the name. So you know it. Come on. Ignorance.
Acting like the damn boogeyman. Coming out of tunnels in New York and all that stuff. They gonna pop up on your ass. You better ask Kanye. They be fucking niggas.
For real. For real.
That's why he be walking around the street with a whole face mask on. He don't want people to know.
He don't want no multiple. That man had enough.
He was like, it's just a tweet. But look, we ain't even gonna do that because we ain't gonna do that. But I'm letting you know, there's a line that they know not to cross, but they don't. And so they don't. But with us, it is that way. This was not funny at all. When I watched it, I wasn't sitting up there like, oh, that's a funny. It was not funny at all. The animation is ugly. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's not that. The animation, yeah. I wasn't that. Yeah, no. I think really because of the way they did it, I don't think I would have minded if everything didn't look so like, I don't know, dirty. I guess like it wasn't like maybe if it wasn't set in the projects. I don't know. It might have been, but the way that they even did the animation, like all of the characters got big. Like the black woman got big booties and chests. It's like they zooming in on body parts. It's like
it's very exaggerated. The jaws real, the lips in the jaws real big, the head is real small.
True. It's a lot. It's a lot.
In that show we did before, Young Love, the characters weren't drawn that way. The animation was actually, it looked good, beautiful. To be honest.
It did. It looked really good in Young Love, actually. Yeah.
So I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the thing. Do you have any final words, Zeze? Make sure y'all follow our sister, by the way.
Please. Final thoughts, I would say, is number one, please don't go watch the show. Do not go watch it. You do not need to see for yourself. I promise. Number two, going along with number one, again, use your discernment, because as Black people, we've been told that we are not as, we don't know as much as we do, but baby, we do. Okay, we already know. Okay, we can't nobody deny our experience or tell us our experience, tell us what we've been through or what we see. Okay, or relate to us, because they're not us. So we know that. Just keep knowing that, Black people. Okay, so when other stuff come out, because I'm sure there's going to be others similar, just keep that same energy. All right, we don't need, we already know. We see a drug dealing baby. All right, it's a red flag. Okay, honestly, the projects at this point might just be a red flag. Even though I'm not mad at having a cartoon placed in a project, but you gotta side eye it, because we know that the intentions behind it is not to represent Black people. It's not just that simple. It's not just to show our experiences on television. There's agendas, many agendas behind that. Okay, the number one being to program you to hate yourself. Okay, and number three, we need more Black creators. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Black animators, the Black creators, and Black storytellers, because that's who needs to be at the forefront of these conversations, because we need y'all. Okay.
What would be really good is if all of the Black people who be doing like little, because I see it on YouTube and on these other stuff, y'all be making good little short cartoons.
They do. I subscribe to a couple Black like animation channels and stuff. Yeah, I feel it. They do win.
If y'all could come together, because I've seen that, if y'all could come together and have like a casting thing where y'all want voice actors, that way y'all can get black voice actors and stuff like that. Y'all can almost create like your own little network. I don't want to say little, but your own network of different types of cartoons. Not even just one specific cartoon, but y'all can have a channel where different cartoons come up, and then there might be cartoons for a more mature adult audience, like a Family Guy, but there might be a cartoon for like the, maybe a little 10-year-old or something like that, and y'all can come up with different, cartoons and movies even. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of underrated black talent out there.
For sure. For sure.
As far as storytellers, as far as animators, as far as script writers, voice actors, that's a $1 billion market right there if you tap in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we gotta take control of our own image for sure.
Definitely agree. Zeze, where this been a really good podcast episode. Definitely is. Audience, I appreciate you guys listening. I really do. Zeze, where can they find you?
You can find me at Zeze Rants on pretty much everywhere, actually. YouTube is Zeze Rants, but the channel name is A to Z TV. So either or. But everywhere else, Zeze Rants, for sure.
Zeze Rants. So that's Zeze Rants, y'all, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. And she got all that stuff.
Facebook.
Facebook too.
Patreon.
Definitely the Patreon, you know what I'm saying? Because this stuff ain't cheap. So
right. But I appreciate you having me on though. It's always a pleasure. We always knock it out.
Yeah, we do. It's gonna be phenomenal. My social media, of course, is gonna be in the comment section below. This is pretty much Afro Lead on everything. You're gonna search Afro Lead up and you're gonna find me everywhere. So make sure you guys follow both of us on our social media, especially the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We got Cashapp too, don't be stingy, but I'm just saying. Especially her. Y'all make sure y'all bless our sister. Go ahead. Hook her up. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I appreciate you guys tuning into the Afro Elite podcast. In the comment section, because I'm going to put this on multiple platforms, so let me know what you guys think about this, about future episodes, about the idea of cartoons, or even other ideas, other subjects or movies or things like that you want us to discuss. So let us know that in the comment section below. With that being said, my brothers and my sisters, you all have a good day.
Peace.